Hello everybody, welcome to Shogi Ramen TV. いらっしゃいませ. Let's enjoy Shogi with me. Today, I will introduce the Yagura castles. There are many kinds of the Yagura. Let's see one by one. Okay, let's start from the normal Yagura. This castle is called Yagura, and this is most basic and the most popular castle against the Ibisha. And the good point of the Yagura is that this castle is strong against the static rook, this line of the attack, and also this kind of the bishop attack. So the balance against the attack from the rook and bishop is very nice. So in the Ibisha games, the Yagura is a popular castle. And I will explain the weak point of the Yagura. So for example, this gold and this gold is the weak point. So for example, after exchanging the silver, dropping the silver to attack the gold is the basic attack, and this gold is one of the weak point. And also attack to the second gold. This gold is also the weak point. So if the attack from the opponent to the both gold, this castle would be broken. And also there is many space to drop the bishop. So after exchanging the bishop, the Yagura need to be careful dropping the bishop here. There are many places, so this castle is very strong against the static rook and the bishop diagonal, but the balance is not so good, so there is many space to drop the bishop. This is the weak point of this castle. And about the edge pawn, and the edge is also one of the weak point of the Yagura. And when you can push this pawn, or when you cannot push this pawn, in my experience, if the silver can move here, this pawn cannot be pushed because the opponent can attack from the edge. This edge attack is very strong in the Yagura game. So if there is a possibility to move the silver here, I think that you cannot push this pawn. And for example, the silver is here. In this situation, I think it's better to push this pawn. Okay. Next, this style, it's called Doi Yagura. This is looks strange, but this is one popular castle in the Yagura games. So what is the good point of this castle? This castle is a well-balanced castle. So if the bishop exchanged, there are few spaces to drop the bishop. So in this situation, only this position can be dropped, but this bishop will be captured in future. So the good point of this castle is balanced to the right and left side. What is the weak point? So this castle is balance is very nice, but not so strong against the static rook line attack. For example, opponent can attack by the bogging like this. So exchanging the silver take. So after exchanging the silver, this castle is very weak because in the normal Yagura, gold is here. Gold can protect this pawn, but in this situation, only the king is protecting this pawn. So for example, opponent can drop the silver to sacrifice. This silver is very strong sacrifice. Sente can take the silver, but it's difficult to protect the entering the promoted rook. And this promoted rook is very strong. He can take the lance and easily to continue attack. So in the Doi Yagura game, this kind of the dropping silver needs to be cared. So what is the way? So for example, rook. This is called Chikatetsu Bisha, and this is also popular way of using the rook in this line. So he can protect the dropping silver. So this is one of the style of the Doi Yagura. Okay. Okay, let's see the next Yagura. This style is called Kata Yagura. This is a bit difference between the Doi Yagura and the normal Yagura. Good point against the normal Yagura is this can create with one move less than the normal Yagura, because the normal Yagura needs to move the king and gold here, but the Kata Yagura can be completed by just moving the gold here. And this is same as Doi Yagura. So Doi Yagura and Kata Yagura is one move less castle than the normal Yagura, but the strength point of view, the normal Yagura will be stronger than the Kata Yagura and the Doi Yagura. And the Kata Yagura is stronger than the Doi Yagura because the gold, these two golds are connected, so connected gold is very strong as a defense. But the balance point of view, the Doi Yagura is better than the Kata Yagura. So, for example, the bishop can drop this position, but in the Doi Yagura, the bishop cannot be dropped here. So the balance point of view, Doi Yagura is better than the Kata Yagura, but the strength point of view, Kata Yagura is better than the Doi Yagura. But one difficulty to create the Kata Yagura. So in the normal Yagura case, how to create the Yagura? Like this. So the Doi Yagura, just moving the gold is completed to the castle. But the Kata Yagura, if move the gold, this bishop is difficult to use. So you need to move the bishop here or here, and after that create the Kata Yagura. So from this reason, I think I don't see the Kata Yagura in the Yagura games. It's very rare, but it could be happen against the Furibisha, like my games. Okay, I will explain the second style of the Yagura. This style is called Sou Yagura. The 4 pieces are for the defense, so this is very defensive style. And this would be used as a gote, because sometimes Gote will be the defense against the center. And if you can push this pawn and you can bring the silver here, this style is very strong style in the Yagura, because you can attack from the left side instead of the right side. So in the Yagura, sometimes happen the king enter to the opponent's area is the one of the victory styles. And so for example, this kind of the attack, if you can attack to the left side, like this, you can bring the king and you can win just in the left side. So if you have a chance to create this style is very strong. But it's similar to the Yagura case. There is a many space to drop the bishop like this. So you need to take care the dropping the bishop. So for example, if take the pawn by silver, opponent can drop the bishop like this. So this kind of the dropping bishop need to be cared in this Sou Yagura case and also normal Yagura. Okay, I will explain about the Gin Yagura. This is called Silver Yagura, Gin Yagura. What is the difference between the normal Yagura? In the normal Yagura, the gold is here, but in the Gin Yagura, silver is here. What is a good point of this Yagura? This silver and this silver position is very nice. And this is strong against the bogging like this. You can ignore this pawn. So, but if the normal Yagura, this pawn you cannot ignore this pawn, because if taken by the opponent, you cannot take this pawn. Silver cannot move back, and also gold cannot move back. So you have to go the forward. It's very intense game. But if the Gin Yagura case, you can ignore this pawn, because you can take the pawn by this silver. This silver is very flexible, and he can back again and to keep the Gin Yagura. So this style is very useful against the boggin. But the difficulty is to create this castle, because the normal silver position, this initial position is here, so silver can move to here. He cannot move directly to here, so you need to move more, and like this. So this style is very has a good point, but this castle spent more moves than the normal Yagura. So this is a bad point of this castle. Okay, this is Gangi Castle. This is also one of popular castles in the latest Yagura. And there are two possibilities of the silver position, here or here. This silver is more defensive, and this is more offensive position. And what is the good point of the Gangi? One good point is the bishop, about bishop. So in the Gangi, bishop can be used for this diagonal. So, but in the normal Yagura, it's difficult to use the bishop in this line because the silver is here. The only way is the bishop use this line. But this bishop usage spent much move than the Gangi. So this style is more offensive and can attack than the normal Yagura quickly. And the weak point of this castle is also the bishop. The head of the bishop is a weak point, like this. This kind of the bogging is the one of the weak point of the Gangi. If the attack by bogging, this bishop will be captured or castle will be broken. Okay. And the balance point of view, this castle is better than the normal Yagura. There is a few space of the dropping the bishop. Only the position is this or this. So for example, this rook position is good against dropping the bishop. Okay, I will explain about the Kikusui Yagura. This castle is called Kikusui Yagura. It is also looks strange, but sometimes happened. And what is a good point? This castle is far from the static rook and far from the edge against the compared to the normal Yagura. King is here, but in the Kikusui Yagura, king is here. So against the rook attack and against the edge attack, this is stronger than the normal Yagura. And when it happened, so for example, in the Yagura game, the edge attack is one of the useful strong attack against the Yagura, like this. In this kind of situation, like this, entering the king is very risky, and the opponent can attack by using the lance and knight and bishop. This edge attack is very strong, so sometimes against this kind of the situation, move back the silver is the way to defend the edge. So in this situation, the king cannot enter the castle, so it's very weak after for example, exchanging the rook. This position is very bad. So the Kikusui Yagura can be created from here. So jumping the knight and move the king. So this is the steps of the creating castle. And against this kind of the edge attack, this castle will be happen. And the interesting point, sometimes this Kikusui Yagura can change to the Ginkamuri, like this. So the Ginkamuri is also useful castle against the Ibisha. This castle is called Yagura Anaguma. And if you have time after creating the castle, sometimes creating the Anaguma is very useful because the king is far from the attack of the static rook. This is very important thing in the end game. And this castle will be completed in this position. It looks strange, but if the silver move here, opponent can exchange from here, and this position would be the nice. And sometimes this moving gold would happen, but this gold is not connected to this gold. If you have more time, this is the best castle, but in the real game, this kind of the situation will be the final position of the castle, and you need to attack. This Yagura style is called Hekomi Yagura. This is a bit different of the normal Yagura. This is normal Yagura, and this is Hekomi Yagura. What is the good point of this castle? So this goal can remove dropping the bishop here. Let's see the opponent castle. Opponent castle is normal Yagura. In this situation, you can drop the bishop here or the bishop here. So this goal is more strong against dropping the bishop. And the other good point is this silver can move here. So for example, attack by the pawn, you can move the silver here. And this is also strong castle. And this silver position is most popular in the Kakugawari bishop exchange game. So in the Kakugawari game, Hekomi Yagura is very useful. Okay. This castle is called Ponanza Castle. Ponanza is one of the names of the computer names like Elmo. So Ponanza created this castle. What is the good point of this castle? This castle is very compact and you can start attack quickly. So if you create a normal Yagura, you need four more moves, but this castle is very compact and already completed. You can start the attack from here. So if the opponent can attack from the left side, it's very weak because only the silver is defending but if you can attack and the opponent need to defend like this, in this kind of situation, this castle is very useful. Thank you for watching my video about Yagura Castle. So there are many kinds of Yagura Castle and it's difficult to say what is the best Yagura Castle. It is needed to select the case by case and let's find your best castle in the real game. Okay, thank you. See you next ramen. Bye bye.